Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a look at a new trademark that's been filed in Japan. And we've done this a few times, and I tell you every time, I'm going to tell you again right now, no, there is no guarantee that this is a new set name. But come on, we've done this a bunch. We're pretty good at this stage. The lovely Primal Lugia and Matthew Arrive have helped me out with this as they tend to do, and our hit rate as a group is pretty gosh darned good with this. That Starbirth set that was kind of revealed the other day, do you know where we first heard about that? Yeah, it was a trademark that was listed under Section 28 or Class 28 over in Japan, games, toys and playthings, which does include, of course, trading cards. So, as far as I'm concerned, until I'm shown otherwise, come on. Oh, VMAX Climax, another great example, so, yeah. Come on, at this stage, I'm just taking it as read. This seems pretty gosh darn good. The trademark is for Lost Abyss. And we'll go through the other trademarks we've seen, the other upcoming sets in a moment. But as far as I'm concerned, this says two things to me. Giratina and Lost Zone. Now, what's interesting to me is that the Lost Zone came around in the set Platinum, which in and of itself doesn't say anything to do with Lost Zone. And it hung around for a little while, and it, chilled around for a couple of sets. And then it came back around, because it tends to come around in waves, in Triumphant. However, Triumphant really just had half of a Japanese set, my favourite Japanese set they've ever made. I could have bought a box cheap, I didn't. I feel absolutely terrible about it. I feel, frankly, like a big dumb dummy. But essentially, that all came around because of the Lost Link subset. And the Lost Link subset introduced the Lost Zone. Over here, it was half split between Triumphant and Call of Legends. So they literally called it Lost Link, and that did have the Lost Zone coming in for the first time since Platinum, which incidentally, no, I don't think is a coincidence. Now, the Lost Zone then took a little bit of a break and came around in Lost Thunder, although it wasn't called Lost Thunder over in Japan. In Japan, it was called Super Burst Impact, which isn't the same, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. It is not the same. So the English set was very much telling us the Lost Zone was coming back. The Japanese set wasn't. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we have got Lost Abyss, and no, just because it's got the word Lost in the title does not mean that it is definitely going to have the Lost Zone. But similarly, the second of the 3 times it came around was in the Japanese set Lost Link. And the third of 3 times it came around in English was in the English set Lost Thunder. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying it has to. I'm not saying it's confirmed. But I am telling you that as far as I'm concerned, it is really rather likely because they know what they're doing, all right? Pokemon know what they're doing when they put Lost into these sets. As a side note, I'm checking over on Bulbapedia here, and there are exactly 2 sets in the history of the Pokemon TCG that have had Lost in the title, and they were Lost Link in Japan, Lost Zone set, and Lost Thunder over here, Lost Zone set. So maybe it doesn't have the Lost Zone, but let's be perfectly clear about this. They know what they're doing, and if they don't put the Lost Zone in a set called Lost Abyss, and seriously, Lost Abyss is the most Lost Zone set name we've seen so far, that would frankly be teasing, and I wouldn't appreciate it. Now, the Lost Zone, for those of you that have forgotten, is another part of the play area. It's like a second discard pile from which things cannot be recovered. Now, the first ever cards that used it were in Platinum, and that included both a regular and a level X Giratina. They both had attacks that if they took KOs, would put the defending Pokemon and all cards attached to them into the Lost Zone. We'll get back to Giratina in just a moment. The most recent Lost Zone cards we saw were in Cosmic Eclipse, and it was actually the Cottony and Whimsicott. They were the only cards in Cosmic Eclipse that interacted with a Lost Zone, and that's because they had that Lost March attack, which did 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in the Lost Zone. As a side note here, just from a gameplay standpoint, the Lost Zone is actually shared between both players. It's not like the discard pile where you have one and your opponent has one. It is shared between both players. So I'm not telling you the Lost Zone is coming back, but I am telling you it is about time. Platinum came around in February 2009. That gave us our first look at the Lost Zone. Triumphant came around in November 2010. That was our second look. We then had a big wait before November 2018 when Lost Thunder gave us our third look at the Lost Zone. And then our final cards that interacted with the Lost Zone, like I said, were in Cosmic Eclipse in November 2019. So by the time we get to this set, realistically, it's going to be a bit of a wait into next year. So we're going to be into 2022. It's going to be 2.5 to 3 years since we last saw the Lost Zone. Probably 3.5, 4 years since the last set which brought it back. It is about time that the Lost Zone came back. And again, just because it's called Lost Abyss doesn't mean it includes the Lost Zone. But once again, they have never actually had a set name including the word Lost that didn't use the Lost Zone. And let's face it, Lost Abyss, come on. Now, the other thing we need to mention here is that everything we're seeing, and I mean everything we're seeing, is telling us that we are heading into a Gen 4 remake section of the Pokemon trading card game. We know that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are out in like 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. The only bad thing was having to try and decide which to pre-order and which pre-order goodies to get. It was a very difficult decision, but I've got both of them on pre-order, went for the double pack with a steelbook, feel pretty good about it. And unlike Legends Arceus, managed to only pre-order in one country, so I'm a bit proud of myself for that one. But the fact of the matter is, we know that Starbirth is the next Japanese set. We know that it has got Arceus V-Star, which, you know, firstly, we're talking V-Star, and secondly, come on, it's Gen 4. It's very much Gen 4. Although we haven't seen images of them, we know that the next V-Star coming are Lucario, which is, you know, very much Gen 4 Pokemon, Glaceon and Leafeon, the Gen 4 evolutions, and Darkrai, who again, very much a Gen 4 Pokemon. So, and we'll go through some other trademarks in a moment, but between Arceus V-Star, the other V-Stars all being popular Gen 4 Pokemon, the other trademarks we've seen, everything here is pointing to having Gen 4 remake sets. And the fact of the matter is that when the Lost Zone first came around, it came around in a Gen 4 set, Platinum, and it came around with Giratina. Now, Giratina was not the only Pokemon in Platinum that used the Lost Zone, but it is still, if there was a Giratina set, Platinum was the Giratina set, and both the Giratina use the Lost Zone. Now, it is interesting to note that since then, we haven't actually had another Giratina that does use the Lost Zone, though we've had a whole bunch of other Pokemon. But to me, the Lost Zone and Giratina will all very much be stitched together. They seem to come as a pair. And that means, as far as I'm concerned, and again, this is speculation, all we have is a set name. I am speculating, and I believe my speculation. I feel way better about this than I do about lots of my predictions, but it is, at the end of the day, a prediction. It's speculation. It is not confirmed. But the Lost Zone seems to be coming back, and I